is our parsley that has been growing happily in this rather nice pot for the last few months. Fortunately, as we've had a reasonably mild winter, it hasn't been knocked back and we've been able to crop it the whole way through. However, parsley is a biennial plant, which means that in year 1 it produces the leaves that we like, but in year 2 it flowers. And a parsley flower is not an unattractive thing. It's sort of umbelliferous and looks quite nice in a border, but as soon as the parsley gets to that stage, it becomes rather sort of tough and woody, and what you really need to do is to plant a new crop of parsley. Parsley is a plant that's been around for many thousands of years. The Greeks had it. They used to wear garlands of parsley at funeral games for eminent people. And the Romans also used to use it, but for a slightly different purpose, in that they used to wear crowns of parsley during dinner parties in a bid to stave off intoxication. I'm not 100% convinced that it actually worked. We have today 2 different sorts of parsley. We have the Italian flat-leaf parsley, which is what we're growing in this pot here. And there's also the one that I remember from my childhood, which is curly-leaf parsley, which seems to have fallen out of fashion slightly because it lacks the flavour of the Italian one. However, curly-leaf parsley also has a place in it. It's actually rather an attractive foliage plant, and it works quite well as the edges to paths in vegetable gardens or something, and it sits there and looks curly and interesting and can also be eaten. Parsley has a bad reputation. That bad reputation because it is actually quite difficult to get it to germinate. It's not a seed that you can just chuck in the ground and go away and forget about. So there are 2 ways in order to give it a bit of a leg up. And leg up 1 is simply by soaking the seed for 24, 48 hours in some warm water, and then drying them off a bit, and then planting them out. It does tend to make them stick together a little bit and make them a bit difficult to handle, but that tends to work quite well. The second way to do it, which I think is a bit of a lazy trick, which is good, is to take a module tray, which is something like this, and fill it with some good quality seed compost, and then sow 4 or 5 seeds into each module, very gently scattering them along the top. And then what you do is you take a kettle like this, and you water that module tray with some very hot water, and what that does is it gives it a bit of steam and a bit of zip, and gets the seeds started. You can then cover them in a plastic bag, put them on a windowsill, and then as the weather warms up, you bring them out into the open and show them the world. And then when they're big enough, you can transplant them very carefully, because they don't like their roots being disturbed too much, either into the garden or into a pot, and there you are. You have a parsley supply for the rest of the summer.